that we usually talk about is the X39, but we will talk about all of the patches usually come up during our lovely call. And what is a LifeWave technology? It's a wearable light technology in the form of a patch. And in the center of the patch is a crystal structure. And when we place that patch on our bodies, our infrared light, also known as our body heat, activates that center of the patch. And so what it does is it takes in our body heat and reflects it back to us at specific wavelengths. And those wavelengths are what causes the patches to give us these amazing results that we're all going to be talking about today. That is why we're here. And so it supports our body and provides that overwhelming wellness and energy flow. It is non-transdermal, which means nothing is going into your body from the patch. Instead, like I said, it reflects our own light, supporting the many benefits that we all experience. A few housekeeping notes. Please use symptoms only so we can remain compliant. No diagnosis names. Tell us how you felt before the patches, what patches you used, and how you feel now. And everyone, please raise up those hands. We want to hear as many stories as we can during this amazing hour that we're together because we love to share. So thank you everyone for being with us. And back to you, Michael.
Thanks, Dr. Annabelle. That was awesome. And I'll do the first share. So I have a patch on my hand here. I did bowling last night for the first time in 10 years. And those fingers going in those little holes, and you're like, throw that ball out there. That my fingers woke up this morning, are like, ow. So I put X39 on there, and it's like relieve the pain, very soon. And it's been great all day. So, we all have our amazing miracles that happen. I was like, God, that's going to hurt for days, but here it is. I'm completely pain free, and I can make a fist. This morning, my hand was like this. My middle finger was all swollen, and everything's back to normal. So that's the beauty of the patches. You use them, and you know how to put them where you need them over time. So that's one of the things we like to say. Keep using them. You may not get immediate results that you're aware of, but it is doing stuff to your body, right? Like we all say, you take vitamins and minerals. Do you really know what those vitamins and minerals are doing in your body? Yeah, maybe over time. And same thing, we get out in the sun, you don't get sick during the summer usually or the spring. So that sun really has a beneficial effect, as does the glutathione, which a lot of us use. And so we highly recommend that during this cold season. Dr. Kathy Wong.
Hello, everybody. I wanted to do a share real quick here. This is kind of exciting. I had someone whose sister purchased the patches for him, and I'm going to read what she reports. So this gentleman has been injured very badly during construction work on his ankle. So he had been using X39. He says it's not working. So remember, you can't pick the fix. Okay, he's been losing weight because he doesn't eat. She says he's nauseous all the time from the pain. But a few days ago, granted, he'd been wearing the patches for about 2 weeks now, he woke up in the morning and said he was hungry. So since that day, he's been eating every day and really good meals, she reports. She thinks it's the patches, and so do I. So if you have nourishment, you're going to have energy. And if you have energy, then you can heal. So again, you don't always get to fix the fix. He wanted pain relief, but he got a better appetite. So I think if he continues to use the patches, he will get great results. Now, this is just X39. I have someone else who's using X39 and Eon. She had some surgery on her arm. Ever since then, she's been having just pain that goes down her arm into her fingers. Well, her husband reported last week to me that pain is starting to subside. And that's with X39 and Eon. So again, they've been a little bit patient. They've been probably patching for about 2 months. So not everybody is a web patch wonder. But if we're patient and we're consistent and we use this technology, we will see results.
Beautiful, beautiful. And we got the doctors lined up. I love it. And so Dr. Annabelle.
I agree with everything that's been said so far because, yes, the results, what we're talking about, what we're raving about, compound over time. And so some of us take a little longer than others. I've been on the technology for 2.5 years, and I have no intention of ever stopping. So, as many of us know, we've all been affected, a lot of people have been affected by this snowstorm, right? This storm that's gone through. And so we ourselves up here in upstate New York got 2 feet, I want to say it was more. Well, guess what? I had to do all the shoveling because my snowblower decided not to work. And Chris wasn't able to shovel the snow with me. But I powered through. I have a really long driveway, and I was able to get all that stuff. And I had to go out on the most worst day of the storm, which was Saturday, multiple times in order to keep the level at an acceptable level. But even today, I went out there and it was amazing because we don't have a lot of space to throw the snow. So I basically threw the snow and I made like large mountains along the edges of the driveway. So much so that you can't walk over and get into the yard. But I powered through. I had my patches, I had my shovel. I am not sore. A little achy in the fingertips more than anything, but my back doesn't hurt. I did a lot of squats while I was shoveling. So I was able to power through thanks to the patches. And I'm not complaining about it, other than the fact that I don't like snow.
All right. Well, that's great. And I've been both. I've, lived here in Lake Tahoe. 5 years ago, it was like one of the worst, I would say worst, was most intense snowfall that in history here. And I shoveled like you're talking about, Dr. Annabelle. You start early in the morning and you're shoveling lots of snow. And then, oh, look at that. And then you're like, all day long, all day. You take a little break and then you're back. Now I had a snow blower, so I'm using a snow blower and I'm
That's my,
shoveling.
yeah. Jen is sharing my house. Jen, go ahead
That's
and share it. And that is everything I shoveled today.
woo, looking good. Looking good. Good job. Wow. So thanks to the patches, you were able to do it. So, and you never know when you're like you got a snow blower and it doesn't work or it's too deep because sometimes they get too deep and the snowblower just doesn't work in deep, deep snow. So you got to shovel it. So nice job. Colini.
Sorry, I haven't been on here in so long, I couldn't remember how to unmute.
Well, we
But I
got to.
have a couple of things to tell you guys. I have listened to Miracle Mondays, even though I haven't been able to participate. And I thank you all for everything you have shared because it really is moral support for each other and inspiration. I recently, my mom came to visit for the holidays, and she'll be 91 on February the 8th. She was just going to stay for a month. And while she was here, we both had a cold. And I think the last time I shared was when I used Aeon and glutathione and cleared up all my horrible symptoms and didn't have to go to the doctor and get antibiotics or steroids. Mom recovered as well, but we were using over the counter like Airborne that has zinc and niacin and stuff in it, and I think Zicam. And I asked her if she'd tried Sudafed before, and she said, "Oh yeah, I've taken that plenty of times." And so we each took Sudafed. We did fine. That night, I was hearing a banging down the hall. She had gotten up to the bathroom and then couldn't walk and was standing there bagging the door. And when I went to her, she couldn't speak.
Ooh.
I thought, what is going on? Is she having a reaction to the Sudafed? Because she may have taken it in her 80s, but now she's 91. And it scared me to death. The next day, she was fine. She got up and was just fine, like nothing happened. And we went along for a few days, went shopping, bought her some new boots, and she was trotting along with the shopping cart. And then all of a sudden, one morning, 3 weeks ago, she couldn't speak. And I had trouble waking her up. I was able to wake her up. And I realized this was the same thing that happened when I was blaming the Sudafed. You would think, as a registered nurse, I would have recognized it the first time. But this second time was much more substantial. The symptoms were far worse, and it lasted for days. We had to help her walk to the bathroom. She didn't want to eat. When she could speak, it was hard to understand her. And I started patching her up. After I got over my initial shock, and pardon my French, but I had a dumbass attack. It was like right in front of me. It's wholly different when it's your mother. Anyway, I started patching her up, and over a few days, she started having gradual changes. I celebrated the first time she rolled herself over in bed because I wasn't about to let her get bed sores. And I'm her power of attorney. I've sworn for decades I would never put her in the hospital and let her die with tubes going in and coming out. Those are her words. She was a nurse too. So I have determined that I was going to deal with this myself, and I know I could not have made it if I didn't have my own patches on board for 8 months now. I would not have had the stamina. I wouldn't have had the strength. I wouldn't have had the mental clarity that I eventually were able to grasp. But she is now eating, playing solitaire on her laptop, sending cards to friends. She's going to the bathroom by herself. For a while there, she briefly was incontinent, and that's resolved. And every single day she gets better. I want to not forget to tell you, I have had her on X39, X49, and Eon every day, and 8 ounces of Celergize. She says the 16 ounces is just too much. You can't drink all that. So we've had a miracle, a double miracle here. She's not only recovered, she's up walking around with a walker and bossing me around. And I'm still the warrior here. I can handle it. And I know it's only because of LifeWave that I'm able to do this. I don't think I would have been able to keep from taking her and putting her in a facility had I not been on the patches for the length of time I have been. My own health was starting to fail from several different things that I've shared with you all before. And so I know the patches made me strong enough to deal with it, and they're healing my mother. And I just thank God for this group and for these patches and for you, Michael, everybody involved.
Well, it's also on you, having the wherewithal and the knowledge to actually use them and put them on your mom. So, congratulations and, kudos to you as well.
Thank you. All prayers are welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll send them. That was a beautiful call, Lainey. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chris.
Hello, Michael. How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good. I haven't really shared in a while because I'm a creature of habit, so my routine never changes. So, gym 5 days a week. And but today, for example, we got, of course, like the rest of the country, we got hit with ice and snow like Dr. Annabelle. But my driveway isn't anywhere near as long as the one she just shoveled. But I did have accumulation of hard packed ice on the driveway. So I had all kinds of chisels and shovels and heavy snow. And as I was shoveling, I got thinking, in the past I would get pretty winded at just shoveling just a little bit, but I was out there for like 2 hours. I shoveled my driveway. I started doing the neighbor's driveway. I just kept going and going. So, and that's what this LifeWave does for me. Sometimes when I'm at the gym, I feel like I could literally work out for, lift for 8 hours and not even be winded. So
Yeah.
That's what it does for me, and it's a good feeling to have that in your toolkit. So that's my share.
That's good job, Chris. Great job being the example out there.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Anybody else want to share? Probably somebody got, there we go, Kathy.
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
I have a new brand partner. She's just doing X39. She cleans houses and for a living, and she gives home health care to the elderly. So a lot of lifting involved. And she said, let me try these. Again, just the X39. She said, let me try that and see what it does. I have to tell you, she's been on for 3 months. She is speeding around everywhere. She is cleaning houses. Like she said, I don't know, this house used to take me 3.5 hours. I was done in 2 hours the other day. And she said, I was just a cleaning. She said, I felt good. I went home. She said, I made these appointments to pick up a couple of more clients for healthcare. And she said, but the thing is that kills me. Nobody wants to do these. I try to tell them, and I said, it's okay. They don't understand. Not yet. But she's lost, in 3 months, she's lost 20 pounds. Like, she cleans houses. She comes home. She gets on her bike. She goes riding it out in the country. And she comes home. She fixes dinner, does stuff around the house, sleeps well. She said that these are amazing. And she attended the get together up at the Villages with me last week. And she said it was amazing what she learned about them. So she said, I'll be a lifer already. She said, I can tell. My husband thinks I'm crazy, but that's okay. We've been married a long time. He knew that. So another satisfied customer.
That's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it is a little frustrating because we know the great benefits of the patches,
Yeah.
and a lot of people are kind of like stubborn with it. So it's an ongoing process, trying to get people to understand. If they sneak in, there's like making sure no one is watching, and they watch these videos, then they're like, I'm going to do that.
Exactly.
So you can't watch these. I've heard of people binging on these because we have a lot of them now. So
Yeah.
Must be great.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Frederick.
Hi, everyone. I had a feeling like I should come on tonight and tell my story, even though it's been told quite a few times. There's somebody out there, I don't know if it's on this Zoom call or maybe in YouTube, that needs to hear this message. I just have this feeling. I was suffering from severe gut inflammation. It has a diagnosis name, which I'm not going to name, but it was sometimes not being able to form, passing blood or mucus. And the worst was urgency. And I was suffering it for years because I did go to have it checked out and went home with a prescription. I was desperate. I don't like prescriptions. So I decided, since I was desperate, I would take the prescription to see how I would do. Well, I don't know if it was a good thing or a bad thing. I think it was a good thing that I had a bad reaction to the prescription, because not only did I have those problems that I was suffering with, but now I had new problems from the prescription. So then I just went off the prescription, and I just tried to watch my diet and suffered for years and prayed. And then one day I watched a Miracle Monday, and I was hearing about the patches. I also watched a video of Michael interviewing David Schmidt, the inventor of the patches. And I was compelled at that time, I felt like it was an answer to a prayer to try the patches. So I'm talking to somebody out there who's feeling the same way I do. I don't know who you are, but I tried the patches. I had results after 3 months of all that clearing up. I started forming regular, no more blood, no more urgency. And that was the worst problem, was the urgency, because it was embarrassing, because not all the times that I would have to be, and I wouldn't make it. I'd have to carry extra clothes, and that impedes your whole life. Think about it. You can't go to the beach. You can't go to a restaurant without knowing where the bathroom is. And now I'm free. I'm free, and I've been on the patches for going on my third year now, and everything is great. I've had so many different miracles, but I specifically felt like I should talk about the severe gut inflammation. And I hope I got through to somebody and that you try the patches too. And thank you for letting me share. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's great, Frederick. I watched your YouTube where you went into detail about that. So I recommend that to anyone. They go to Frederick's YouTube channel and because he goes into more detail. And I was pretty stunned. I've heard you tell the story a few times now, but the way you tell it on YouTube is, because you're trying to, make do for the time, but you go into the detail that really deserves. So very good job,
Thank you.
Chris.
Hey, so on January 13th, I went in for double hernia surgery. And with that, they send you home some medications. So they sent me home with oxycodone and told me to take a leave if I needed to, and Tylenol. So the first day, of course, I took their medicine. The second day, the only thing I took was a couple of Aleve. And then the rest of the time, it was just patching. So I used multiple patches during the day, X3949, glutathione, carnosine. And then at nighttime, I would use. I must have lost you. At
Yeah, you went
nighttime,
muted.
I used Eon patches. And then during the day, I would keep using my leftover X3949. And started feeling a little bit of pain during the day around 6:30. So I was like, oh, these patches must be like wearing off for me. So I just kept battling through it and went on to my nighttime patches, and I didn't touch any big pharma medications after the first day, which I can attest these patches work really well for pain and inflammation because that's all I was doing was patching.
Very good. So yeah, let's get one of you guys to mute. There you go. So what that happened to me one time as well. Well, not one time. It's like I remember when I first came in the Navy, I went through hard hat dive school, and we did, like, as you can probably imagine, unbelievably rigorous calisthenics and sit-ups, and we did it in the snow. And so I remember one time looking down at my abdominal area, and it looked like I had developed an extra layer of muscle. I always thought that. I was like, oh, wow. So I just go through life because that happened probably when I was about 18. So I go through life. I'm doing, go through SEAL training. I got this extra bundle of muscle there, and right in the middle of my gut. And I was like, oh, wow. So I'm like, extra special because I got extra muscle there. So time goes on. I do bodybuilding contests and win trophies, all kind of crazy stuff. And then one of my buddies who is a corpsman and been to 18 Delta, really super rigorous training. He was a really good guy. He like looked at my stomach one time after I'd done a bodybuilding contest. He's like, "You got a hernia." I'm like, "What? No way. I'm a young stud. There's no way I could have a hernia." And he's like, "Yeah, you got a hernia." And I was like, "Dang." So life goes on again. So I'm like just living with it. And I get operated on finally, and it's much better. I was like, and then I did another bodybuilding contest and won. So it is tough, the hernias, going through life with hernias. So I can feel for you, and so I know you would have been out there shoveling otherwise, but at least Dr. Annabelle's using the patches, so you're okay. So she can cover
Yeah,
for you.
yeah, I definitely would have been out there helping her, but she told me to stay inside and
Yeah, that was good advice.
not mess anything up that was just done. So
Excellent, good job,
thank you.
Lynn.
So I have several things really short this evening, but the first thing is I sent pictures. So I don't know if Roxanne or Jen have the pictures. I have
Jen's got it,
one of
yeah.
my okay, one of my brand partners in her 70s. She started on the patches probably 5 or 6 weeks months ago, and she bought the premium kit because she had a lot of things she wanted to address,
Nice.
and that's astounding that the left side was when she started. It was 5 months ago, actually. And she called it her old lady leg, but old lady leg no more, because look at that picture on the right-hand side. And that's her. So she uses all of the patches. And as a matter of fact, when she first started, she got the patches for one specific huge condition, and she's still waiting for that to get rectified. In the meantime, she has a list, and she's up to 35. This makes 36 things that her body has repaired in the past
Wow.
6 months. Yeah, from all the patches. Because she was so disappointed that her main thing wasn't rectified yet. And I did a podcast where I went head to toe and listed the 30 things in my life that, in my body that had changed the past 2 years on the patches. So
Hmm.
she did the same thing. This is number 36, but I think it's astounding that before and after picture, because she's in her 70s. Talk about reverse aging.
Wow, no kidding. That's
Yeah,
impressive.
yeah, yeah.
Great
I thought
before and
that was,
after. Yeah.
yeah, excellent. Great before and after too. I was super
And
excited.
how long she been on it?
Like 6 months, 5 or 6 months.
Yeah, wow. It's getting those kind of results, and just imagine after a year or two, it's gonna be pretty impressive.
Exactly, exactly. And she's in her mid to late 70s.
Hmm.
Yeah, she called the left one her old lady leg. So, but she doesn't have that, anymore. So that's very exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my biggest one, the picture. And I had a handful of others just because I got these quick text and stories this week as opposed to long ones. So I figured I'd just share a handful.
Okay.
I had one brand partner that fell, and she broke her little pinky toe. And, normally those little tiny parts, whenever they're injured, cause the most pain. And she put her X39 from the back of her neck right on the problem, and she never had any pain, and she had full function during the whole healing process or rectification process. And her daughter is a nurse. Her daughter she was astounded, her daughter, because that's not how the body's supposed to repair.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Very good.
exciting. And then I had another brand partner or preferred customer who was battling colitis for years and years and years, and started just the X39 and saw a huge improvement the first month, which is a big deal. And then I have another one who's been on the patches maybe 2 months, X39 and Eon. And she's noticing, she's in her 70s, the brown spots on her hands and her face are lightening up. And also the woman I just showed the pictures of with her leg, she told me this was like two weeks ago. She looked down and all the age spots were gone from her hands.
Oh, wow.
So ladies, this is a shout out to everybody. I had a group of ladies on a phone call this weekend, and they were like, "Tell me about those patches that get rid of these brown spots, Tell me about the Alavita patches and the Alavita creams, and what do they do?" So I've got all kinds of ladies on the Alavita patch. And of course, guys, this is for you too, but the ladies seem to get a bit more thrilled about it. So I have all kinds of ladies putting their Alavita patches straight on those spots. And using our day and night creams and our eye creams, and we're seeing tremendous results. So that's exciting.
Very nice.
Yeah, yeah. And I can do some more or wait if we need more, Michael.
Yeah, do a couple more.
Okay. So let's talk severe colds. I know this comes up just about every week, but I think it's worth it. So I had a preferred customer who had a severe cold, and what we recommend especially is the X39, and you can put it right on your chest. That's where a lot of the colds are. And then she was wearing that anyway. She added the glutathione to it, and it knocked that thing out within 24 hours.
Hmm.
And I told her about if she has the energy patches too, whenever she's sick, that will like knock it out 50% faster. So what she did was she bought a bunch of glutathione and a bunch of energy patches, and they're in her medicine cabinet now, because for years we're all kind of self-trained on the Aleve and the Advil and the Tylenol or the whatever. Instead, we have people now who are putting the patches there so that way, whenever they're sick with these colds and flus, they can put our patches on and get over them a lot faster. So that's exciting. And then I had another brand partner who started on the patches, and she X39 and Eon, and within 24 hours, she'd lost like an inch of fat around her gut, and her pants were looser. So that is very, very possible. I remember after I was on the patches for 3 weeks, I was walking across a parking lot, and all of a sudden my winter coat just slid down my hips. It was an exciting moment, whenever all of a sudden, it's just like, bam, it's gone. So we have quite the product that we offer.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Great
Yeah.
shares. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Francine.
Hi, Michael.
Hi.
You were talking about fingers, and Dr. Annabelle was talking about fingers, and I have to hurry because I can hear the boys are back and it's going to be way too noisy to talk. But at any rate, when I started, I had aches in both of my thumbs, and I couldn't even hold a heavy water glass in one hand to drink, couldn't hold it with two hands without pain. And within weeks of wearing the X39, that pain was gone. It's never come back. And I've been on the patches for just under 3 years. So, and the other thing I'll say quickly, my sleep has improved so much. I could never sleep through the night, had trouble even getting to sleep. And now I have no problem. I just sleep, I sleep all night long, and it's wonderful. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Francine. Jen.
Okay, I'm very excited, Michael, because I brought back people that have been with you and me, a couple years ago, and Brian and Celicia Welbrock. Brian, you're going to have to, turn on if you can, your video and join us. He didn't know how to join in, but Brian has worked with military veterans, anybody, PTSD, our first line, policemen, firemen, etc. He's created a program that helps. It's a 10-week program, and you can go through it for free, and it can help with all sorts of issues. Well, I actually, when I was a therapist, I've retired from it now, but about 4 or 5 years ago, I sent one of my people to him, and he graduated from the program, and it really helped him. Anyway, I asked Brian, because he's been using the patches all along, if he would share a story, and I'm going to put into the comments. He's asked us to vote for him so that he can raise money for that nonprofit, and so I put it in there. And Brian, can you speak? You said you would.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can
Yep.
you put your raise your hand or something? You can't.
Yep,
I
I'm
don't
over
know how to
here.
get you.
Hello.
Yep, we see him.
Oh, good. You do. Okay.
All right, Michael, good to see you.
There you
Good to
are,
see you.
Brian.
Yeah, it's been a while. So yeah, I'd love to chat about that. Like I said, I've been working with veterans and first responders. I've got a 13-week course that I put together. I work with the general public as well, but I have a heart for those who have put themselves in harm's way. They go through the ringer. I'll tell a quick story here. So I have a guy, his name is Rob, lives in Washington State. A couple of years ago, he reached out to me. He found my website and was looking for some help. He's a veteran, but also a career law enforcement. And so long career, 30 years in law enforcement. Went through a lot, went through a shooting, and this is on top of his military career as well. So, my course goes in and helps regulate the nervous system and help a person get back on track with their health and eat right and exercise right. Also goes into the cognitive biases, the cognitive distortions, and help them learn how to start reclaiming themselves and learn how to have a little bit more control over what goes on in between these ears right here. And he just did an amazing job. And then after the course, I talked to him about the patches. And what's interesting is inflammation is a big problem with, and Michael, I know you know this, with military, law enforcement, really anybody that lives in this world now is dealing with some sort of inflammation because of the toxicity levels in our environment and what we're exposed to. But you take the wear and tear on the body and all of those things, and it just increases. So you add that physical pain on top of the emotional and mental pain that first responders go through, and it's a lot. So in working with him, he lost a bunch of weight. He started really working on his thoughts, got his inflammation down. And then the patches came along, and he noticed a massive difference in combining all of that together with a regimented program with the patches. And he noticed his anxiety going way down. I believe he did like 39, 49. Also, glutathione is fantastic for PTSD, and noticed a big difference in regards to his anxiety levels coming down. I just reached out to him today. He's going to be voting for me on this. It's a contest. It's a Mr. Health and Fitness contest. And I just want to make sure it's a free thing where you can go in and vote for me if you wanted to. Okay. A person can also go in there and purchase additional votes. That nonprofit is not mine. Okay, that nonprofit is not mine. I want to make sure that we're clear on that, Jen. Okay, so it's just a free vote. You don't have to pay for votes. So anyway, I reached out to him and just found out today that he is coming out of retirement. They have recruited him. He's already gone through the certification training for domestic abuse and sexual assault counseling. What that tells me is that there's a lot happening. There's a lot of healing that has taken place in him, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, for him to come out of that retirement and to step into some high stress situations. Okay, so a holistic approach to health it works. That's the reason why my wife and I even promoted this, is because it's natural. It helps your body heal naturally. Okay, by that light therapy, increasing those stem cells, your copper peptides. It's really incredible. Those patches aren't giving us anything. It's actually helping us heal by our own bodies, the way God actually created us. I know I've taken a long time to explain that. I've got a couple of others if I have time.
Yeah, that's great, Shelby. Thanks a lot.
It's Brian.
Brian.
Brian, yeah, but you have a couple more. He has patch stories if you want them, Michael, for patches and PTSD.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. Yeah, we'd love to. Maybe we should connect and do a whole show together.
Oh, that'd be amazing. That'd be amazing. Yeah. I'll just tell you, I have a married couple. The guy I have known for a while, he was not necessarily in the military or first responder. Like I said, I work with the general public as well. But he went through chemo, he went through cancer, and got chemical-induced diabetes. And he's had a lot of brain swelling, so there's confusion, along with the fluctuations in blood sugar. And it's just been a recent thing that I've got him on the 39. And what my goal is with him is, it's really hard to decrease inflammation in the brain. With a bicep, you can put a pack of ice on it. It's going to do a really good job. But you got this skull, this big thing of bone right here. It's really hard to get to your brain, right, to decrease inflammation. So I'm real excited. It's only been a few weeks since we got him on that, and his wife as well. So I'll be looking forward to giving you some updates on that one. But that inflammation in the brain due to the swelling and the chemo and cancer and all those things, I think the patches are just going to be a phenomenal asset to him.
Yeah, that's incredible, Brian. And your website, so everybody's aware, I shared it on the screen here, but C2C crest or reset.org. C2C reset.org. So go over there and contact Brian if you feel motivated. And Brian, I'd love to have you do a show. We'll have to get together and talk about some of these things, because it's really tough to get the veterans, especially those that have had problems on these patches. It's like, as you know, and I know, and many of us know, it does world of wonders and amazing results. And Lynn Scott can talk about that. She's had amazing results too, guided by God. So it is definitely a very, very amazing technology that helps a lot of people. And there are a lot of veterans that have PTSD. I would say a good percentage of them. So a lot of them hide it.
Yeah, absolutely. As a health coach and a trainer for 30 years, one of the first things I share with veterans and first responders, and everybody, I think everybody has some degree of PTSD because of life, right? Sure. Which is why I do what I do. I love to help. But with regards to veterans and first responders, one of the things that they need is a structure. They need a structured plan that they can follow. And if you look at the military, it is structured. Down to when you go to the bathroom, it is structured, Michael, right?
Oh yeah.
And so when they get out into the real world, whether it's a first responder or veteran or both, sometimes they struggle because they don't have a plan. They don't have something to follow.
Right.
So when they can integrate a product like LifeWave and these patches into a holistic health coaching system that brings the faith component in it, the mind, the emotions, and shows them that they're not broken, shows them just how they can go in and have some renewal and some healing by actually helping heal their nervous system. It's PTSD is a physiological issue, not a psychological issue. Now it can exasperate the psychological, right? But it's more physiological, right? So the patches are amazing because they help the physiology. And it turns that sympathetic dominance, which is the sympathetic nervous system, just being on DEFCON 12, 24/7, it helps, put the fire out a little bit and bring them down, get them into that parasympathetic nervous system where they can actually relax a little bit, digest food, and sleep, all of those things. So let's do a show.
Yeah, definitely. And I bet Lynn would like to do a show with you too.
I would love that. Yes, I'm sitting here waiting for my turn to talk. I would be honored.
Yeah, go ahead, Lynn.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brian. That was great.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Glad to be here.
I'll get in touch with you, Brian, and we'll get you on the schedule.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
So yeah, I thought I would jump in on the PTSD anxiety conversation. And just like Fred, people have heard my story before, but this must be time to share it again. From my horrific childhood trauma, I've had severe chronic PTSD and anxiety my whole life. And I've had, wonderful healing modalities that I've used. And then 2 years ago in January, I was lifting weights in my garage, listening to one of your shows, Michael, with David Schmidt on, and God said, stop everything and listen. And you guys were talking about the X39, and he told me to buy it and use it and share it to help others. And when I started them, it's for me, the X39 and the Eon in combination. And the way I describe it is, and I love too how he described it, but it's like our central nervous system is lit up in fight or flight constantly. And most people on a 10-point scale probably live like at a 1 or 2. So when there's a problem, you deal with it. when you have PTSD at this level, you're constantly at least at an 8 to 10. So the smallest thing shoots you off the Richter scale and you completely can't control it. When I started on the patches, within the first month, the PTSD and anxiety decreased by 70%. And it calmed down my nervous system, and it started increasing all the feel-good chemicals in the brain and balancing everything out. And to date, everyone that I have, and I can't make guarantees, I know, but this is a statistical fact. 100% of the people that I've had on the patches experience relief from this within the first month. And it's different degrees of relief, but some relief for people who suffer from this is huge. It's like it gives you hope. And then it's like compound interest in the bank, and it just gets better and better and better. And even, you know, Gracie coming here, she has PTSD. She has an anxiety disorder for a cat, and the patches help her. And I have so many people, trauma is trauma. I have vets that I've signed up. Dr. Jan Halper Hayes, who's a friend of mine, she said that 83% of the world is suffering from PTSD and anxiety right now. So we have something that can literally help 83% of the world. And can you imagine the progress that we'd make in all these areas if people could get out of that fight or flight and regain their sovereignty of their physical and mental body, and then be able to start helping humanity again? I mean, it's phenomenal what we have a hold of here.
Yeah, really is. And a lot of veterans and probably some of those ICE agents are getting stuff thrown at their heads out there trying to, keep our laws in fact and get criminals off the street. But paid agitators are, trying to keep them from their job. But when I was in the military, we did a lot of explosive stuff, and I know many military suffer from PTSD from the traumatic brain injury, and the same thing with the football players. And the insurance that the football players get, they don't want to admit it. So these patches could help a lot of people, like you say.
That note, I would also like to say this. There are spouses and children of dependents of the military, the police department, these high risk. You think that children don't know these things and feel them? I listen to some of these men, they say the first thing when they come home that really resets them is they hug their kid. That's amazing to me. That brings them back to the realness of all the trauma they were out doing in some of these stories. So it doesn't just happen to them. This is a trickle down through our society effect. And you know what's even worse? The silence that we have to keep behind the Iron Curtain. Love you all. This is big.
Yeah, good stuff. So one or two more shares. Well, that's great conversation. So we know that these patches are doing a lot more than sometimes we share in these shows. So that's one of them right there. The PTSD. It's on for 83% of humanity. Wow. I can totally understand that right now. So the patches, many of us have had relief, from a lot of trauma, a lot of the stuff that's going on in the world. So it does make a difference. Anybody else want to share that? One more, two more, maybe? Go ahead, Len. I know you got like 100 of them.
I do. I have hundreds and hundreds. I'm just so happy. I love what I do. So I'll give you a few more. I had a preferred customer who wanted to go to Europe, but she was in severe pain, and she was afraid she was going to have to cancel her entire trip because of the pain. And instead, she started the X39, and it eased the pain so much, she happily went off to Europe, no concerns, no issues, no problems. So it made that adventure like night and day for her. So that's amazing. And then I have another pet story. No pictures this week, but a pet story. So I had a brand partner reach out, and I think he has like maybe 8 cats in the house, and he keeps feral cats warm in a shed in the backyard. So he loves cats. And one of his cats became really ill and wouldn't eat or drink. And those of you who have pets know when your pets stop eating and drinking, you're in very serious territory. And so he reached out to me and he took his cat to the vet, and the vet said the only solution is antibiotics. Well, he considers antibiotics to be poisonous. And so he wasn't going to, which is understandable. So he wasn't going to put those in his cat. And instead, what he did was, and this is so creative because I've heard of people doing all kinds of things with our patches on pet collars because the patches activate within 3 inches of body heat. So it'll go through the leather collars or the flea collars. I've had people buy headbands that women wear and cut holes and put patches in. My last cat I helped, she bought a baby bib and stuck the patches in the baby bib. So this is a guy's solution. You know, my favorite tool when my dad was alive was duct tape, or his favorite tool. Duct tape fixed everything. So in this case, my brand partner took tape and he wrapped it around and made it sticky on both sides. And so he created a collar for his cat using Scotch tape. And then he stuck the patches on the tape. But happy to report within 20, and so he had the X39, the Eon, and the glutathione, the glutathione going. And the next morning, the cat started eating just like normal. So perfectly fine. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thanks, Lynn.
You're welcome.
Trish.
Hi. I just wanted to say, I mean, I don't have PTSD, but I did have a horrible experience, and the patches have helped me stay calm through it. So I'm about 5 weeks out from a right total hip replacement after having a left total hip in July. And at 3.5 weeks, about a week and a half ago, my hip dislocated. I was just standing in the kitchen. I didn't do anything, really. I did nothing. I'm so careful. And it was the worst pain I've ever felt. And my whole leg was out to the side. And I had to hold it. And my son had to carry me to the couch. And then the ambulance had to come and get me. And it was horrible being transferred in and then going 45 minutes to the hospital with all the hills and everything out in northern New Jersey. So, and my boyfriend came to the ER, and then finally they reduced it a few hours later. And I was having spasms, and each spasm was just unbearable. So then I was in the hospital for a few days, and then I was at a rehab, acute rehab, where I got physical therapy for 3 hours a day. And we just left Saturday because of the storm coming, and I wouldn't get PT through the weekend. And right now I'm still unable to straight leg raise my right leg, which I couldn't do before the dislocation either. And it did take me 3 weeks with my left leg, and my knee buckles. So I'm wearing an immobilizer, using a walker, and I've got all the shower chair, every single thing. So shower chair, you name it. So anyway, it's been kind of crazy because I'm very independent and active, and I really think the patches have helped keep me pretty level. So
that's good.
Yeah.
Man, all the trauma and the pain that you help people through, and now you're going through it. Crazy, right?
It is crazy. It's hard being a patient after being a nurse for so long, but I had some great nurses, and I had some fabulous nurses. So
very good. Very
I don't
good.
know why. Who knows?
Well, that's a great story. Thanks a lot. And Roxanne was shaking her head the whole time, so she knows.
Yeah. I can relate to an extent, but thankfully my hip never dislocated because that just
sounds
I can't.
Bad.
I've seen people come in through. I worked in PACU, so post anesthesia care, and people would come in emergently, and the doctors would have to reduce that joint down. So. Put it back in place, and usually it's under anesthesia, because
I got the propofol conscious sedation, and my boyfriend was outside the room. He said there were like 3 or 4 people pulling on my hip, putting it back in place, and taking x-rays.
Yeah,
I can't
believe it. I've seen it.
You're holding your leg. You had to hold your leg. That's because it's out to the side. You don't want it to. It's crazy. It's awful. I don't know. All I could think of was war movies with people's legs going backwards, Michael. That's all I could think of, were battle situations. In my head, I thought, oh, am I reliving something? It was like crazy. I don't know. Whatever.
Like a Barbie doll when when your brother would pull her leg off and you had to, I'm so sorry for you. You're tough though.
Yeah. It
Oh,
was
yeah,
horrible.
definitely.
My 22-year-old son was home, luckily, and I screamed to him, call 911, get me a walker, get me the couch. He goes, what do you want me to do? He was just, poor kid.
Oh.
See me like that. I felt terribly. But I'm glad he was there.
Little angel that day. Okay.
And I know, Roxanne, you work for plastic surgeon and aftercare, and you've helped a lot of people through some pain. So, some more good uses for the patches, if you're
Absolutely.
nurse, former nurse, whatever.
Yeah.
I know you're in the hospital scene. You're not going to be able to slip them on people, but, outside you can help people out. So that's good.
There are several nurses on this Zoom tonight. So, anyway, so we all know exactly what's been going on in that area.
I did meet that doctor who I told Roxanne about, who is interested in the patches. And
oh, good.
I don't know if Roxanne mentioned him to you, Michael. He wants. Okay. Anyway.
Not yet.
He's
Not yet.
A lot of
Waiting
things.
on you, Trish.
Okay. Bye.
Okay.
Nurses helping doctors and vice versa. I know Dr. Annabelle's probably been conversant with a lot of people that, are interested too. So, Suzanne.
Hi.
Hi.
I only spoke once before. My whole life changed in May when I met Terry Passioni, and I've been patching since May, and everything has changed for the better. I was in a lot of pain from a compression spinal fracture. I fell over backwards, and I was in terrible pain. And she got me out of pain with LifeWave. And now I've been patching since May with mostly X39 and Eon. I'm all out of Eon, and I can tell you, I can feel the first time I've had pain because I don't have my Eon, but the patches work. I'm a believer. It's totally changed my whole life, and I'm much calmer now because of the Eons.
Very good. Very good.
So I know that they work, and I'm about to go on a cruise in February. So I'm actually having fun again. This is the first time I've been able to laugh and have fun and be calm since I fell on my back in March.
Wow.
Honest to God, and it's from the patches.
That's fantastic.
My whole mood has changed. I'm actually able to smile and laugh. My husband will tell you that I've changed for the better. So these patches work. I can't tell you how much I am so grateful for a brand new life.
Wow. Suzanne, that's a great one. It's a great one to end on. Leave us with that memory of how amazing these patches are. So thanks, Mike. We've had a lot of great shares today, as usual.
Yes.
Thanks everybody that shared today, and look forward to next Monday. But during the week, if you're if something happens, where you bang yourself up, take a picture of it and use patches and give us a before and after. We always love those shots. All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Suzanne. All right, everyone. Thanks for all the shares. If you want to unmute, say goodnight. Lots of love. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Thank you,
Good
Michael.
night.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Good
Bye,
night,
Sarah.
everyone. Good night, everyone.
Everybody.
Night, guys. Much love.
Aloha, family.
Thank you, Brian, for speaking up.
Yeah,
Yep.
thank you. Thank you, Jen. Thanks,
Yeah,
Michael.
thanks, Brian.
Ready for your shares.
Thank you. Great
everybody.
shares.